And then I was so insecure at that age that I couldn't even date another white person because I was afraid of being with them and then not being able to be with them because of something I can't control, like the color of my skin. Do you know what that's like?
Welcome to GlocalBuzz. Here we are counting down famous instances of people getting caught lying to gain sympathy and profit from it.
My name is Tawana Brawley. All right. I'm not a liar and I'm not crazy.
Before moving forward, don't forget to press the subscribe button. Now back to the list. Number 1. Hasan Minhaj. In the world of comedy and social commentary, Hasan Minhaj was known for his unique storytelling style that blends autobiographical elements with biting social commentary. He captivated audiences with his Netflix comedy specials and his acclaimed series, Patriot Act.
Blows my mind that it took the killing of a Washington Post journalist for everyone to go, oh, I guess he's really not a reformer.
However, recent revelations have exposed significant fabrications in Minhaj's narratives, particularly in stories where he portrayed himself as a victim of circumstances. In the September 2023 issue of The New Yorker, journalist Claire Malone detailed 3 instances of Minhaj embellishing stories that had been parts of his acts. The first one was a story from his 2017 stand-up special, Hasan Minhaj Homecoming King, in which he described being in a relationship with a white girl in high school and then suffering a hurtful breakup with her parents rejecting him because of his race. It turns out that the white girl in question and Minhaj were never in a relationship. The second was a story used in his 2022 special The King's Jester, in which he was sent anthrax, which fell on his daughter and she was later hospitalized.
He grabs a stack of letters, he hands them to me, I rip it open, I flip it over, and all this white powder falls into the stroller. And it falls on my daughter's shoulder. Her neck, her cheeks.
Minhaj clarified in the article that while he was sent white powder, it was not anthrax and it didn't spread to his daughter, who was nearby, but it could have, which his wife pointed out to him. Hasan clarified that he added the hospital scene in his special because he wanted the audience to feel the shock and fear that he and his wife felt. The third story was also in The King's Jester, which centered around an FBI informant named Brother Eric, a white man who converted to Islam and gained the trust of the mosque community. When questioned about the validity of the incident, Hasan stated the basis of the story was inspired by his experience and altercations with undercover law enforcement. He admitted that he fabricated these stories, but his lies were emotional truths that were meant to convey the difficulties faced by a Muslim South Asian person. Number 2. George Santos. George Santos, the freshman Republican congressman from New York, fabricated virtually every aspect of his life.
You know, it's funny. I actually went to school on a volleyball scholarship.
You did?
I did, yeah. When I was in Baruch, we were the #1 volleyball.
Did you graduate
team.
from Baruch? Did you graduate from there?
Yeah.
So did I.
I did.
So did I.
Oh, very cool. So, great school, great institution.
I put myself through college and got an MBA from NYU, and I have 0 debt. And my parents, they helped where they could because they were rebuilding back after filing for bankruptcy. But I know the drill. It's hard work. You got to do it.
But both Baruch and NYU denied this, as they had no record of his enrollment. Santos boasted about working for Goldman Sachs and Citigroup, yet both companies denied any employment history with him. His lies extended to his personal life, with Santos falsely claiming his mother died on 9/11. He also lied that his maternal grandparents were Jewish Holocaust refugees who fled from Soviet Ukraine to Brazil.
We're no stranger to persecution. My grandfather fleeing Ukraine in 1920s to Belgium, then fleeing Belgium to Brazil in 1940. It's a story of survival, of tenacity, of grit, as we like to call it.
But it turns out his mother died in 2016, which Santos himself confirmed in a tweet months later, and also both his maternal grandparents were Catholic and Brazilian by birth. Furthermore, Santos lied about his financial status, asserting he owned multiple properties and had a significant net worth. In reality, he faced eviction and had a history of financial troubles. These early fabrications painted a picture of a man willing to deceive at every turn to advance his ambitions. Despite the growing skepticism surrounding his background, Santos managed to keep his house of cards standing for a time. However, as the 2022 election approached and media scrutiny intensified, cracks began to appear in his carefully constructed facade. The turning point came when the New York Times published a bombshell report in December 2022, revealing numerous discrepancies and outright fabrications in Santos' background. This exposé triggered a domino effect, with more media outlets and investigators digging into his past. Pressure mounted as fellow lawmakers called for Santos to resign. In a scathing statement, Nassau County Republican leaders declared that Santos was no longer welcome at their meetings due to his campaign of deceit, lies, and fabrication.
Today, on behalf of the Nassau County Republican Committee, I am calling for his immediate resignation.
The final nail in the coffin came on May 16, 2023, when the House of Representatives voted to expel Santos.
On this vote, the yeas are 311, the nays are 114, with 2 recorded as present. 2/3 voting in the affirmative, the resolution is adopted, and a motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
The vote was overwhelming, with Democrats and Republicans alike condemning his actions as a betrayal of public trust. Number 3. Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett, known for his role on the TV show Empire, reported to the Chicago Police Department on January 29, 2019, that he had been the victim of a hate crime. Smollett claimed that 2 men attacked him in downtown Chicago around 2 a.m. He stated that the attackers used racial and homophobic slurs, poured an unknown chemical substance on him, and tied a noose around his neck. According to Smollett, the attackers also referenced MAGA, indicating that they were supporters of then-President Donald Trump.
And he said, "This MAGA country punches me right in the face." So I punched his ass back. And then we started tussling. You know, it was very icy. And we ended up tussling by the stairs. Fighting. There was a second person involved who was kicking me in my back. And then it just stopped. And they ran off. And I saw where they ran. And the phone was in my pocket, but it had fallen out. And it was sitting there. And my manager was still on the phone. So I picked up the phone and I said, "Brandon." And he's like, "What's going on?" And I said, "I was just jumped." And then I look down and I see that there's a rope around my neck.
The incident garnered significant media attention and widespread public sympathy.
Okay, a lot to cover. We've got some breaking news. Actor and musician Jussie Smollett from the hit show Empire was attacked and beaten early this morning in Chicago.
This is horrible to report. Danny, this is a horrible story, no matter what kind of attack or crime it was. Yeah, you may have already told us, but I'm so shaken by the story, I forgot. I know he walked himself to the hospital. Do we know how he is now? This is a horrible story.
Yeah.
2 suspects who were apparently wearing Make America Great Again hats.
I'm disgusted by people who wear hats that say MAGA, Make America Great Again. I don't like that it's being put out there in the media that this is a possible hate crime.
Right. And the media has really cast so much doubt on his story, which I find so personally offensive.
It's coming from the President of the United States. He's dog whistling every day.
And the circumstances are just horrific.
And this is America in 2019.
The list of those who went public with their outrage over the attack ranges from Moonlight director Barry Jenkins, who tweeted, "This is what all the hateful mongering has wrought. Are you proud?" to actress Ellen Page, who blamed Vice President Mike Pence.
It feels impossible to not feel this way right now with the President and the Vice President Mike Pence, who wishes I couldn't be married. Let's just be clear. Connect the dots. This is what happens. If you are in a position of power and you hate people and you want to cause suffering to them, you go through the trouble. You spend your career trying to cause suffering. What do you think is going to happen?
When the story first broke and Jussie Smollett claimed he was attacked, there was no corroborating evidence, but that did not stop or even slow down the rush to judgment. 2020 Democratic presidential candidates weighed in immediately. Senators Cory Booker and Kamala Harris both called it, quote, an attempted modern-day lynching. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand said, quote, "We are all responsible for condemning this behavior and every person who enables or normalizes it." And freshman Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeted, quote, "This attack was not possibly homophobic. It was a racist and homophobic attack."
As the investigation progressed, the Chicago Police Department found inconsistencies in Smollett's account. Here is a hilarious video released by the police where he can seen still wearing the noose around his neck an hour later when the police arrived at his apartment. the police gathered evidence suggesting that the attack might have been staged.
This announcement today recognizes that Empire actor Jussie Smollett took advantage of the pain and anger of racism to promote his career.
On February 20th, 2019, Smollett was charged with filing a false police report. Authorities alleged that Smollett had paid two brothers, Ola and Abel Osendero, to help him orchestrate the attack. Text messages and other evidence indicated that Smollett had communicated with the Osendero brothers in the days leading up to the incident. Surveillance video shows the brothers buying what Jussie told them to. Smollett faced multiple felony charges related to filing a false police report. In March 2019, the charges were abruptly dropped by the Cook County State's Attorney's Office in exchange for Smollett forfeiting his $10,000 bond and performing community service, a decision that sparked controversy and accusations of preferential treatment. In response, a special prosecutor, Dan Webb, was appointed to investigate the handling of the case. In February 2020, Smollett was indicted again by a special prosecutor on 6 counts of disorderly conduct related to the alleged hoax. In December 2021, Smollett was found guilty on 5 of the 6 counts. On March 10, 2022, he was sentenced to 150 days in jail, 30 months of felony probation, and ordered to pay $120,106 in restitution for the overtime spent by Chicago police officers.
This morning, actor Jussie Smollett is in an Illinois jail cell, sentenced to 150 days behind bars after being found guilty of lying to authorities.
The incident had a significant impact on Smollett's career, and his character was written out of the final season of Empire. Number 4. Parents from the Blind Side. Michael O'Hare, the former NFL player whose life story was the inspiration for the 2009 film The Blind Side, has alleged that the Tuohy family, who took him in as a teenager, made millions off his story while he received nothing. His life story gained widespread attention through the film The Blind Side, which depicted his journey from homelessness to becoming an NFL player, largely credited to the support of the Tuohy family. The film was based on the 2006 book The Blind Side, Evolution of a Game by Michael Lewis. In August 2023, O'Hare filed a petition in a Tennessee court claiming that the Tuohys lied about adopting him. According to O'Hare, he was never legally adopted by the Tuohy family. Instead, they tricked him into signing a conservatorship when he was 18, which gave them legal authority to make business deals in his name. O'Hare alleges that the Tuohys and their 2 biological children received substantial royalties from the Blind Side movie, while he did not receive any money from the film's success.
When you get down to the lawsuit, I think there's a sense of betrayal that he is portrayed. He says that in February 2023 was the first time he found out that he was not legally adopted or part of their family. If you take his claims at face value, if you believe his story, is that kind of led him down, a path of understanding. Okay, like I signed away the life rights to this movie. I didn't make a penny from it. Is what he's saying.
He claims that he was misled into thinking the conservatorship was essentially the same as adoption, without understanding the implications on his financial and business dealings. In his legal filing, O'Hare is seeking to end the conservatorship, claiming that it was used to exploit him for financial gain. He also seeks a full accounting of the money earned from the use of his name and story, and he requests damages to be paid. The Tuohy family has denied O'Hare's allegations and have expressed disappointment and sadness over O'Hare's claims, asserting that they have always acted in his best interests. Number 5. James Frey. James Frey is an author who became widely known for his memoir A Million Little Pieces, published in 2003. His memoir detailed Frey's experiences with substance abuse, his time in rehab, and his recovery. It was praised for its raw and unflinching portrayal of addiction. The book became a bestseller and was selected for Oprah Winfrey's Book Club in 2005, which significantly boosted its popularity. However, the investigative website The Smoking Gun published an exposé titled A Million Little Lies in January 2006, in which it was revealed that Frey had fabricated key portions of his memoir. The report showed discrepancies between Frey's accounts and actual police records, court documents, and interviews with people who knew him. Frey's claims of spending 3 months in jail were found to be false, as he had only spent a few hours. Additionally, his accounts of involvement in a train accident and a violent altercation were either greatly exaggerated or entirely fabricated. He also lied about having a root canal without anesthesia. Oprah initially defended Frey when the controversy emerged. However, after the full extent of the fabrications was revealed, she invited Frey and his publisher Nan Talese back on her show and confronted them about the deceit. This televised confrontation in January 2006 was widely viewed, in which Frey admitted to fabricating parts of his memoir. Number 6. Sacheen Littlefeather. Sacheen Littlefeather, born Marie-Louise Cruz, gained widespread attention when she appeared at the 1973 Academy Awards on behalf of Marlon Brando. Brando had won the Best Actor award for The Godfather but refused it in protest against Hollywood's portrayal of Native Americans.
Hello, my name is Sacheen Littlefeather. I'm Apache, and I'm president of the National Native American Affirmative Image Committee. I'm representing Marlon Brando this evening, and he has asked me to tell you in a very long speech, which I cannot share with you presently because of time, but I will be glad to share with the press afterwards, that he very regretfully cannot accept this very generous award. And the reasons for this being are the treatment of American Indians today by the film industry, and on television in movie reruns, and also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
Her speech was met with a mix of applause and boos, and she faced significant backlash, including professional and personal attacks. She told reporters that John Wayne had to be held back by 6 security guards to prevent him from rushing the stage and assaulting her.
But there was some commotion behind the stage, and I didn't find out what that was all about. But it was Big John Wayne getting ready to assault me. And he had to be held back by 6 security men to prevent him from doing so. Now that was the most violent act that ever took place at the Academy Awards.
In 2022, nearly 5 decades after the incident, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences issued a formal apology to Sacheen Littlefeather for the mistreatment she endured following her speech. The Academy's apology was formally delivered in a letter dated June 18, 2022, signed by then Academy President David Rubin. It recognized the courage she displayed in making the speech and the price she paid for it in terms of her career and personal life. On September 17, 2022, the Academy hosted an event at the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures titled An Evening with Sacheen Littlefeather, where Littlefeather spoke about her experiences. Littlefeather graciously accepted the apology, expressing her happiness at living long enough to witness this acknowledgement.
I am here accepting this apology, not only for me alone, but as the acknowledgement, knowing that it was not only for me, but for all of our nations that also need to hear and deserve this apology tonight.
She died 2 weeks later after the event on October 2, 2022, at age 75. After her death, her sisters Rosalind Cruz and Trudy Orlandi publicly stated that their family did not have Native American ancestry but was of Mexican descent. What? They accused Littlefeather of fabricating her Native American identity, and what she did was disgusting to the people of American Indian ancestry and an insult to their parents. Number 7. Tawana Brawley. The Tawana Brawley case is one of the most controversial and high-profile cases in the history of the United States regarding false allegations of rape. In November 1987, Tawana Brawley, a 15-year-old African-American girl, was found in a trash bag, smeared with feces, with racial slurs written on her body, and her clothes torn and burned. Brawley claimed she had been abducted and repeatedly raped by a group of white men, including police officers and a prosecutor.
Tawana Brawley said they left her nearly dead, a gang of white men who raped her and scrawled racial epithets on her body.
The allegations triggered an immediate and intense public reaction. The case became a focal point for civil rights activists, including Reverend Al Sharpton, who became one of Brawley's most vocal advocates. The incident was widely covered by the media, and it ignited debates about racism, police misconduct, and the treatment of African Americans in the criminal justice system.
It's going to be is that if you continually use a system that has not worked for black people in this state, you must begin to make that system adjust.
A grand jury was convened to investigate the allegations. The investigation involved interviews with witnesses, forensic analysis, and an examination of Brawley's account. Over the course of 7 months, the evidence and testimonies were meticulously reviewed. On October 6, 1988, the grand jury released its 170-page report that concluded Brawley had not been abducted, assaulted, raped, or sodomized.
Those allegations are untrue. The people who made those allegations lied. They are false. There was no sexual assault found here.
A rape kit was administered, which showed no results to sexual assault. The racial epithets on her body were written upside down, which led to the suspicion that Brawley herself wrote it. The investigators concluded that Brawley may have fabricated the story to avoid punishment from her stepfather for staying out late and missing school. The grand jury's conclusion that Brawley's allegations were false led to significant controversy and backlash.
A rally is being staged in front of the New York Public Library, vowing to march to the New York Times building with the cry of cover-up. But as Alec Roberts reports, as far as the grand jury is concerned, the case is closed.
Key figures, including Al Sharpton, attorney Alton Maddox, and attorney Vernon Mason, faced criticism for their roles in the case. Stephen Pagonis, one of the men accused by Brawley, sued Brawley and her advisors for defamation. In 1998, a jury awarded Pagonis $345,000 in damages, holding Brawley and her advisors liable for defamation. That is it. Thank you for watching. Check out other videos from this channel. Please press like and share on this video, and don't forget to subscribe this channel. Until next time.